Hello everyone, welcome to 3.1, our next section, Law of Sines. Previously, what you have learned is sine theta, cosine theta, tangent theta, SOHCAHTOA. Worked really well to find that theta. You had opposite, adjacent, you had hypotenuse, and you just had to figure out which ones you had, which ones you needed to find out, to figure out the missing parts of the triangle. However, what happens if the triangle is not a right triangle? Have no fear. We've got something for you. People spent long time trying to figure all that out, and here it is, without getting into all the details of how long it took and all that kind of stuff. Here's a picture of it. The law of sines. If triangle ABC is a triangle with the sides lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c, then a over sine a equals b over sine b equals c over sine c. We can all thank Johann Euler in 1464 for coming up with this and giving us this nice little shortcut. There are two equal signs. There are three things. The nice thing is we don't need to know all of it. We don't need to know all six of them. We just need to know four. So you need to really know three to find the fourth one. So you can use these two, you can use these two, you can use these two. It doesn't matter which two you use as long as you use two of the sides of the equal sign. All right, so let's just get into an example. A pretty simple example. Your assignment's going to be the exact same idea. Let's just do this one. Get into it. There's going to be a lot more that we actually cover when we do this, but let's just get started with this example. So it says solve the triangle. If you remember from geometry, solving the triangle means I need to know all angles and all sides. All right, so we need to find all the angles, all the sides. The nice thing is I should be able to find C no problem. You know how many degrees are there in a triangle? You guessed it, 180 degrees. So it's going to be 180 equals 30 plus 45 plus big C. So 30 plus 45, 75 plus C equals 180, and subtract 75 and you get 105 equals C. So I might as well just put that in there right now so I know this angle is 105. Alright, so we got that part. That had nothing to do with anything that we have done so far, but it's a pretty nice thing to have. So, what we want to do now is let's use our formula. A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. We want to say which ones do you want to find first. We know A and the length, lowercase a, so we either need to find B or C. Since we need to find both of them, let's just go in order. So what I'm going to do is let's start off with A. So I need to start with lowercase a, which is the length. The length of lowercase a is 20. So what I'm going to do is 20 over sine of a, sine of my angle, which is 30. So I'm going to say sine 30 equals. Now let's use B. B, I don't know the length of B, so I'm just going to keep it as B over, I need sine of the angle, sine of 45. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, excuse me, and just figure out sine of 30, sine of 45. Sine of 30 is 1/2, very good, 20 over 1/2 equals, and then B over sine of 45. Sine of 45 is, you guessed it, square root of 2 over 2. All right, now we're just going to cross multiply and solve. So 20 times square root of 2 over 2, I can actually go and say this is 10, get rid of that 2, and I've got 10 square root of 2 equals 1/2 B. So how do I get rid of 1/2? Multiply by the reciprocal, times 2, cancels these out, times 2, and I get 20 square root of 2 equals B. So I'm just going to go in and write that now. 20 square root of B. Can I just leave it as 20 square root of 2? I could leave it as 20 square root of 2. If you wanted to go get your calculator and get a decimal approximation, that's fine. Otherwise, we can leave it. Alright, so we're going to do the exact same thing for C. Now, it doesn't matter if I use the new B and C that are the new lowercase b that I just found. If you want to, could you also use the A's? Of course. It doesn't matter which ones you use. I prefer using the original because if this is a decimal and I approximate, then my answer for C could be further off. So you could use B. I'm going to use A. I'm kind of running out of room, so let's try this again. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. And let's go ahead and put this up again. So I'm going to do 20 over sine 30 equals. Now instead of using B, I'm going to use C. Let's get this folded down real nice. Okay, so I'm going to use C. So do I know what the length C is? I do not. Length C goes on top over sine of 105. All right, so we're going to cross multiply, and I've got 20 times sine 105 is going to equal, and sine 30, remember what sine 30 is? Well, if you don't remember, we can go back here. Sine 30 is 1/2. So I'm going to change this sine 30 to 1/2 C. Cross multiply. Okay. Now, do you remember what sine 105 is? We can look it up. Is it one of your unit circles? 105. Uh-oh. It's not. So you know what we have to do? We're going to approximate it. And so let's get out our handy-dandy calculator here. Thank you very much, Desmos. And we are going to go to function sine of 105. So, oh, and I got that other one on there, so let's make sure we have just one thing on there. So let's do this again. Functions sine 105. And it tells us that we have, oh, what? There we go. Let's try this again. Function sine of 105. And we have negative 0.97. Now, does that seem to make sense? We're in the top part of our unit circle. I don't really believe that that is right. Sine of 105. I would disagree with that number because sine is the y value, and 105 degrees is not going to be a negative. It's got to be a positive. So Desmos, you're not helping very much here. Okay, but let's continue as if we were doing this problem correctly. So we have sine 105 times 20 equals 1/2 C. What I'm going to do is multiply that by 2, multiplied by 2. These cancel out, and I'm going to end up with C equals 2 times 20 sine 105. 2 times 20 is going to be 40 times sine 105 degrees equals C. Now I guess what we can do, let's just go find our good friend Google and look up sine 105. Yes, I want to leave the page. That's okay. And it says in radians. And let's just change this to degrees. And it says it is 0.9659. Okay, so then we're going to do that. Let's just multiply that times 40, since we got it all here. And we'll end up with 38.64, let's say. 38.64 equals C. All right, so we got 38.64 equals C right there. So now let's just plug it in to finish off our whole big triangle. 38.64, so we're going to say 38.64. So now we have side, 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 angle, angle, angle. We have solved the triangle because we have all sides and all angles. All right, good. Here is your assignment. Let's do that. It is solve the right triangle, which again, remember, means find all the angles, all the sides. I've given you B is 27.4 for the side. We don't know side A. We don't know side C. Angle C, 102.3. And angle B is 28.7. Also, here's your trivia question for the day. What animated sitcom housewife has the maiden name Bouvier? What animated sitcom housewife has the maiden name Bouvier? B-O-U-V-I-E-R. Good luck.